In general, it's not a good idea to use your data entry layout for printing. Usually you have one layout for data entry and another for printing. This may seem like a lot of work, so let's explain why you want to do this. And the best way to show you is to go to preview mode, because we obviously can't show you a printed page here. Preview mode approximates what's going to print, and you can get an idea what I'm talking about. So we'll go to preview mode, and right off the bat you can see that this button's getting cut off. When you're working with a screen, it's usually bigger than what you can print out. You've got these giant screens. I mean, I've got a 30-inch screen. That's much bigger than a piece of paper, and you want to use that real estate for your solution, but printing it won't obviously fit on a page. Other things happen here. You have buttons on here. Even if it's cut off, would you even want the button at all? Would you have a different type of logo here? You usually have a JPEG for on screen and an EPS for printing. Do you want all these colors? You probably wouldn't be printing all these colors. Even if you have a color printer, it's a lot of color to use up. Would you have the same type of borders? Would you have the same field arrangement here? Would you be using the same font? I mean, I use Verdana for on screen because it reads really well, but I don't like it as much for printing. I use Helvetic or Times New Roman, something like that. And then you take a look at your tabbed interface. You can't even see what's in the shipping, the notes of Google or media. Would you even want to see what was under Google or media? You know, these kinds of things are, you have to all considerations. They're just for two very different purposes, and you need to consider that. What if you wanted to add page numbers to your printed page, or a date printed? Do you really want those in data entry mode? They just don't make sense. So there's a lot of things going on here that differentiate your data entry or on screen versus your printing. Now, there are exceptions to the rule. I mean, I have used a data entry layout to print. Sometimes it happens. 99% of the time you won't do it, but let's go ahead and show you some tools that will help you to print out a data entry layout, such as how do we get rid of this button, because we obviously don't want that to print. So we'll exit preview, edit layout, we'll click on this button, go to our, and I almost made the mistake, under FileMaker 10 it used to be under the format menu, but now this option for not printing an object is under the inspector. So when you go into the inspector, go to the position tab, and in sliding and visibility you'll see it, and we'll scroll down a little bit here. Now we're going to skip this stuff right now. We're going to talk about this later. What we want is hide when printing. Simple as that. Now when we go to preview mode, you'll see that that button does not print. It does show in browse mode though. You'll see it there still, and obviously it still shows in layout mode, but that's one of those settings you can set for printing using a layout for dual purposes. I still don't think it works. Only for the most basic layouts will it work. So I don't want to get confused. I'm going to uncheck that. I usually don't use this option very often, but again, it's a personal preference. Maybe if you're doing a very quick little database that you just wanted just to do one purpose and it was going to be used for like a month or something, you don't want to put all the time into creating two layouts. But if it's some solution you're going to be using for years and years and years, putting that extra work in is really worth it. So let's go back to browse mode. The whole point being here is you need one layout for each purpose. In fact, I usually have three types of layouts. There's your data entry layout, which we've created, the printing layouts, which we're going to be creating soon, and you might have many printing layouts for one table. We'll probably do a list view and a label and a form view and all kinds of different printing here. But then the third type is a find layout, which we'll go over much later. So those are the three types of layouts: browse, find, and print.